up, John?
How are you?
Dude, I'm doing well. Today is my first day back at the station, so it is a little weird coming back to work.
I can imagine.
Yeah, man. Can you just wait? Like, how bad are you hoping for the day to come back where you get to hang out with your buds from the main?
That's that's the one thing that I actually got nostalgic today and went and looked back at like some stupid videos that we had made on tour. And was just like, dang, man, I missed that. So we're definitely chomping at the bit here.
Yeah, dude. I imagine. What's your quarantine situation like? I'm assuming you're at home.
Yeah, at home. This is sort of my setup.
Oh.
There's a video game going on right there. But
are you playing video games while doing this Instagram Live?
No. I was watching other adults play video games.
Do you often watch people like on Twitch or YouTube or anything?
I watched this dude that plays Call of Duty, and he's just like, I play and I'm really bad, and I'm trying to get tips from him. So it's not working. But
which Call of Duty are you on?
The new Warzone. So
the new Warzone.
Yeah, we've been.
I just downloaded that. I just downloaded that one too, but I haven't really played it because I don't know. I'm afraid it's going to be like Fortnite, where like everybody's all in one group. I don't really know what's going on with it. So
it's a lot of fun. I don't know. It's like a big map, and you can have up to 4 people on your team. So like I've been playing with Ken from the band and Jared, and it's just like. I mean, we suck, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, if you need someone to
round out the group, yeah.
Level you guys out in awesomeness, it's not me. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. We'll keep looking then.
No, if you're down, I would love to play. I'm always down to jump online with anyone, just because I hate playing alone.
I do too.
It's bad.
Yeah, especially like then you can blame it on somebody else if you lose too.
So how often are you blaming people for what you're doing?
Quite frequently, yeah.
Well, hey, dude, I'm so happy that you joined us today. I have been listening constantly to your song, Rolled Down Windows, for, I don't know, since it came out. Was that like 2-3 weeks ago, it feels like?
Just over a week, yeah. I know, it's like days in this scenario seem like months to me now.
Dude.
It's crazy. Like, especially I think now that we're like that much more locked in on like our phones and our computers, and because there's nowhere to go. So right. I think it's like stuff is moving like that at this point. As if it weren't crazy before, I think it's like even crazier now.
Exactly. Well, I got to ask, where does the name John the Ghost come from? Because you started this back in 2016.
Correct. Oddly enough, it came from, we were on tour, and it's kind of dark, but it's not really. I mean, I don't think it, I'm not sure if it was a living memorial. But it was certainly looked like some sort of essentially what looked like a tombstone, and it had a motorcycle on the back of this tombstone, like a big wooden motorcycle, and the tombstone looking thing itself was made of wood, and it said John the Ghost on it. And I thought it was kind of interesting, and I wrote it down. It really, I'm kind of a nerd in that I'll just write everything down on my phone and just keep it for future reference if there's song titles or album titles or lyric ideas or whatever. So I had taken a picture of it and sort of forgotten about it, and then I started compiling these songs that weren't going to make it for the main records, and I just wanted to put them out because I felt like they were just going to sit on the shelf if I didn't put them out. So when putting them out, I needed a name, and that just, I don't know, instead of just going by my full name, John Cornelius O'Callaghan V, it wouldn't really look good on an album title. So I shortened it.
You're going to need a double album to fit both of those
Exactly.
names.
Exactly.
What were some other names that you were thinking of?
To be honest, at this point, I don't really even remember. It's kind of crazy because the first EP that I put out was 4 years ago. So that was 2016. I mean, I always have different, I always have a lot of ideas when it comes to album names and stuff like that. So the one that ends up coming out isn't necessarily the only one that I thought of, which kind of holds true for every release that we do. So I don't even know. I can't even guess what the other names were. Maybe they were cooler. But I will say I thought less about the band name or the band name this time around because in retrospect, there are very few cool band names in my opinion. I feel like it's really hard to I mean, once familiarity kicks in with people, that's when it's just okay, they're the Red Hot Chili Peppers, sure.
Right.
They're Plain White Tees or the All American Rejects. It's these aren't really those great band names, but I don't know.
But they're iconic band names because just the way that they phrased everything.
Exactly.
I would have to say probably one of the most epic band names I've ever read in my life. Granted, I've never even listened to any of their music. Is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was like, who comes up with this? Because whoever it is probably just rolling in cash right now. These are great band names.
Yeah. They're kind of psychedelic, too, so there must have been some sort of influence there, some sort of chemistry at work there.
Oh yeah, somebody definitely licked the back of a toad or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Killers is the most badass band name.
Really?
I think so.
It's so simplistic. It's so simple. But of course, it would be a badass name. I always thought the Strokes. Also, I think if you have the Maine.
There you go.
Come on now. I'm going to start calling myself the Mo so that people actually will hear about me. So, you were talking about writing these songs, but they weren't necessarily you didn't feel like they were for the Maine. They were mainly for you. What's the mood going into some of your songwriting with the solo project for John the Ghost versus the Maine?
I think 4 years ago was definitely different than this most recent release in that I definitely had compiled just a couple of songs that started feeling very similar in that they were just a little darker. We've branched out with a couple of things with the Maine that felt a little more in this vein, but these definitely had I was listening to a lot of Beck Sea Change at the time, which is very high on my list of records. So it was a lot of acoustic based, sort of brooding, slow, dark, sort of arrangements that I felt they just didn't have a place on these records for the Maine. The Maine's records, we always have sort of this framework of what an album will look or sound like to us. And these just sort of were the misfit toys. They just didn't have a place. So once I got past 4, I felt all right, that's substantial enough to put them together and put them out. So
yeah. Okay, I like that. I had spoken with Ryan of All Time Low a few weeks ago.
Nice.
And I know you guys are supposed to be doing Sad Summerfest.
Yeah.
Which might turn into Sad Winterfest, because it's still kind of up in the air right now, right?
It's all up in the air, and that's the toughest part about being in a band at this point in time is that everything is so fluid, and you have to remain super punctual. And I know a ton of people are and there you go. Michelle just asked, is Sad Summerfest happening still? And
yeah,
I think, a large portion of our hearts are very hopeful, but the reality is that we just have no idea right now. And it's like I was saying, like every day feels like a month in that, you know, things can change so drastically just within a few days. So we're remaining optimistic. But there will be a time when it's like we have to make a hard decision one way or the next. And in some form or fashion, Sad Summer will happen again. And that's the coolest part to us, is that, you know, after being a part of it the first time, we had no idea if it was going to be a thing for a second round. And after getting ATL on board, it's like, that solidified it. You know, that was like, holy crap, like they're huge and they want to do this tour, which is like so amazing. And I think that's the really neat thing for us, is that we just kind of snuck in and helped put on this festival, and then somebody agreed, like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. We're like, oh, is it? It's like, sick. All right, let's do it again. So
what I love the name. I know it happened last year, but I think the name is just perfect. Just because emo is in. It's always been in. I don't think it's going anywhere.
I don't think it will.
But, you know, I am curious, have you got to see any of your bandmates? I know we're supposed to be quarantined and whatnot, but I know some people are getting to see each other, either Zoom conference or in real life. I don't know if anybody stood outside your window holding signs.
Actually, Kennedy brought over his girlfriend is really, really great at sewing, so she made us some masks. She made a couple extra for my parents and stuff like that. So I saw Ken.
That's awesome.
We've tried to do like the Zoom thing. It's actually incredibly difficult for our band to. We were initially trying to do it to try to like collaborate and write on new music, and it's just like it's so hard, because, you know, like even the audio between us it can get weird, and then when you start playing something from your speakers, it's even smaller. So it's like. It was a lot of like, huh? What? Like, so we're just hopeful that like the restrictions lessen when it's appropriate, you know, like when we're actually like starting to see a decline. But right now we've been surprisingly productive with writing songs, which isn't necessarily normal at this point in the process for a main record. I wrote a lot on tour, which was different. And we fortunately got out of... we had finished a European tour like only a few weeks right before things started to get really bad over there. So we were very fortunate in that we weren't planning on touring this time. And I got a lot done as far as writing goes. So we have a lot of songs. I'd say we have at least at this point, over like 40 demos. You know, even if they're really small, they're certainly jump off points. So we have a lot to work on when the time comes to actually be face to face, which is really promising for us.
You had said that this was your first time actually writing on tour. What makes this time so different versus others, or this last time?
I think, to be honest, it's just having the motivation. I've been trying to get better at production and getting better at just the software that comes with songwriting these days. Pro Tools is what I work in, and it's just like anything else. It's like the video game. If you spend this much time on it, you're not going to be good at it. So there comes a level of just having to be diligent and putting, you know, yourself into it. And I was just sort of forcing myself to actually sit down and dedicate time every day. And, you know, some days it's just like everything else. Some days nothing comes, and some days it feels like you had incredible breakthroughs. So it's certainly ups and downs when you're writing. And now this only amplifies the idea of like, I didn't do anything today, you know? But that being said, I'm still like shutting myself in this room and like trying to be productive every day, just because I feel like, you know, if not, your brain will get the best of you. You know, you'll start thinking crazy things. And fortunately, I have a little side yard. I can get out, actually step outside, breathe the real air. And it's been sunny here, which is really nice too. So.
Exactly. I hate that it went from like 80 degrees last Sunday to 100 this last Friday.
I know.
That's fine. If they want to keep me inside with this 100-degree weather, this is exactly how you do it. Because
exactly.
I'm now in a relationship with my air conditioning, and that's all I care about.
There you go. Yeah, my fiance is from California, and she was like, "So, do you guys really like just skip over the 80s completely?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, kind of." It like went from like nice and 70s to 100, but I'm ready for it. So.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, congratulations getting your engaged now and everything. I hadn't seen you in a while, so I've been able to extend my congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you guys? When is the wedding? Was it supposed to be during this time at all? Or?
Well, it's technically we were shooting, or we still are shooting for October 29th, but everything, like I was saying, is all up in the air. So. You just got, I mean, for all of the uncertainty, I think we're really, really fortunate in that we're healthy. And that goes for everybody in the band and all of our families at this point. We're all healthy. We're all, you know, for the most part, a lot of my friends and family members have been able to hold on to their jobs, which is really, really important. And we're really fortunate that, like I said, we were, you know, I think if all goes to plan, we'll be able to see this through as a band. And I think that that's like, you know, a giant victory. Obviously, we want to still do this. And I think obviously things will change, you know, and the industry as a whole is certainly going to be changed forever, or at least for the immediate future. But that's, you know, you can sit and wallow in the misery and the uncertainty, or you can choose to adapt and try to make, you know, the best of this situation. And I think that's what we're trying to do. So,
yeah, I feel like during this time I've not only learned about certain things that I needed to do to excel myself in, you know, radio or whatever, or just relearning how to cook again and stuff.
Yeah.
Damn, I had a point. Now I lost it completely. That's fine though. It doesn't matter. You know, going back to John the Ghost, are you planning on releasing an EP, or is this just singles that you're just dropping?
I have a lot of songs that, again, like by way of just writing. They're starting to definitely have a divide. I can already hear songs that will be on the next main record, and I can already hear songs that just won't fit. So I think what's intriguing to me is that people have been receptive of the different sound. So that sort of opens a lot of doors for me as far as you know, the sound goes, and being able to pursue sort of the more upbeat side of things. I think that's what's fun for me, is that I get to sort of be sort of like test the waters, you know, like big toe in and just see if it's warm or cold or whatever it is. And if people bite, then throw another line out there. So, yeah, we'll see.
I saw a question right here from MSV 0625 wants to know if there's going to be another book.
There will be. I think the focus for me with John the Ghost specifically would be to let the things stand alone. I want to just allow the music to live, and then I'm planning on, and this is, I don't know, this is like an exclusive right here, but I'm planning on pressing a vinyl that would be the first EP, and then press it with whatever this second EP is. And with that, I think, is where the next set of like writing would be incorporated. So I'm trying to figure out packaging and stuff like that. but I released a thing way back called Exaltation, which was just more or less like a vinyl-sized box of basically like poetry, but it was like big vinyl cover-sized poems.
Yeah.
So I want to do something like that and incorporate it with the vinyl, and so we'll see.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, one last question.
Yeah.
Because I know I actually got to get to another thing, but I want to know, who was the last person you ghosted? Since you are John the Ghost.
What's funny is that I got a new number, a new phone number, and I got this dude Guns. So there have been a lot of people that I've accidentally, by way of getting a new number. And I mean, what's your stance on like you getting a new number? Do you just send out like a blanket text? And I got a new number, so no one will contact me again. I didn't really do it for that purpose, but I wasn't going to be like, I mean, I hit up a few people, but I wasn't going to be like, yo, just in case, like, this is my new number, save it. So I unintentionally/intentionally ghosted a lot of people. It's my bad. So if you have my number and you hit me up, there's going to be an angry girl that got my old number that apparently she's not very kind when people call. So.
Oh, wow.
And actually, the most recent one was Dallas from a band called Grayscale. Called me a couple days ago and was like, hey, dude, I just called your old number, and some girl was really angry on the phone with me and said, this isn't your number anymore. So, yeah.
She should be grateful.
She's pissed.
Oh, man. Well, John, I'm glad that you hung out with me today, honestly. I mean, it's been a while. Last time I saw you, it was at Whole Foods, and it was so quick.
Yeah.
That was so fast, but still, it was really fun. Nice little memory that I have forever. But, dude, I'm very excited to see what's going to be coming now with this new EP that you're going to be working on, and then also hopefully getting to see you for Sad Summerfest. If not, I'm sure I'll see you around at Whole Foods again.
Absolutely. Congrats on getting back in the studio.
Thank you. It was so needed. I was going to choke someone at my house.
I'm sure.
Yeah, this is probably a test to your guys' relationship. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you. I'm going to chat with you later. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, man. I'll see you later.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Alt AC 93.3.